What up, guys? Another Adonis review, and today we'll be doing the final update of Cyberpunk, the 2.11 update, which should have about it should technically be the final update for Cyberpunk. So, the word on the street is this is it. This final update fixed any problems from 2.1, which was the last major update. Phantom Liberty's out, so the word on the street is this is kind of the last thing we could expect. Obviously, more stuff can come out, but nothing's really expected. It's like the end all be all, I think is what I'm trying to say, maybe. So, anywho, let's talk about it as a whole. Now that Cyberpunk has reached its end goal from the trials and tribulations of how it originally first started to where it's at now, from being a beloved encore game that everyone in the world seems to like now. Have you not got on it yet? Are you still wondering if you should play it? Have you not bought the DLC yet? What can you expect from, the holding back of getting it now? Let's talk about it. So, obviously, if your history is one of complete idiocracy and you have no idea about what's going on in the world ever when it comes to video games, we can all figure out and we all know that Cyberpunk came out pretty rocky. It is a PS4. It came out initially not only just for PS4 and PS5, for example. It came out for PS4 with no PS5 version originally. And the problem with that is that it didn't run well at all on the generation of the PS4 and the Xbox One S. And it, again, didn't have a PS5 version, so that was the console it was supposed to work on. So that caused a lot of people to be very upset. Now, it did work pretty well on PS5 with the PS4 version. There's no real problems. But again, when you don't even have a PS5 version of the game, you are expecting the PS4 version to work perfectly fine. So that caused a huge amount of hate and disdain for Cyberpunk. They lost all the goodwill they earned for The Witcher Part 3, and people were returning the game willy-nilly trying to get refunds, and it was looking pretty terrible for CD Projekt Red. And apparently at the time they had DLC and obviously sequels and all this crazy shit planned that essentially kind of went into flame and smokes because they had to focus all their man time and hours on trying to fix the game so it didn't suck so much. So we fast forward now from 2020 when that happened, and now we're at 2024, and the game is exactly what you expect it to be. But not only that, I think the other thing that makes this game impressive is that when this game first came out, everyone was expecting it to be total bullshit. Not total bullshit, but they were expecting probably a bit more from a game, with the original developers who made The Witcher 3. So not only were they expecting the graphics to maybe be more, but they probably were amplified because the new PS5 generation did come out. So we were upset to see something more than what we've seen. Because technically speaking, the graphics weren't, they're not bad. They just weren't better than what we've seen. We've seen graphics at the same level. So we didn't really see anything that blew our mind. It was broken. And that's where all the bad will came. Now you look at present day, no game has really rivaled the graphics that this game has pulled off. Not only for the fact that just how it looks, like I said, there's plenty of games that look good, but the amount of detail that goes into this game and the open world and every corner of this open world is truly incredible. It's something worth looking into and playing, and it's, if you look at like the Saints Row remix that came out, or the remake or whatever, came out after And it doesn't hold a candle. It's not like a bad looking game. It's just the detail in this game is incredible. To a random bar and every single detail side of it, every character and their tattoos that they have. I mean, it's truly incredible what they did. So graphically, this game is still above and beyond. The detail that's put into it is astounding. Now I'll move past that to the story, which is what they're known for, and it's of course fantastic. The intricacies and details, and it truly makes your character feel like your own, even so it is kind of like a blank slate character, which is kind of normally not as interesting or as well developed as like Gerald or Rivia, who is a character that has his own personality, and you essentially just pick based off of his personality. This character is based off your personality, but it truly is your own person, even if you play female or male. So, that is one thing about the game that's truly incredible. So, if we're talking about the graphics, up to par, no more game breaking things, that's also up to par. Another thing that you can see I'm doing right here, they've added, for once in our life, a way to change the colors for your car so that you can have a beautiful, sexy car now. Now, to be fair, this is only for this car and any Rayfield car, which is basically the elite fancy cars, which is two of them. But those other two cars, you would want them to be on the most. So it is nice to finally have these attributes so you can mix and match your car color and hopefully try to find something that looks somewhat suitable. Obviously, I'm not pretty good. I don't know why I thought pink, green, and pink would go together, but I digress. The fact that you have it now is pretty legit. So, anywho, what do you expect from this game? After all these patches, what have they gotten past that from the very beginning when you first started to what you could expect now if you get the full thing? Well, the most obvious thing you could say to that is you have the Phantom Liberty expansion, which is the DLC, which adds a good amount of 20 hours to the game. It unlocks this place called Dogtown, which is essentially Las Vegas in in the Night City-ish world. If you look at the map, it is this area here, from this stadium to about here, which is unlocked, which was in the game initially. It's not like it wasn't there, it was just kind of locked off. So compared to the map as in a whole, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it is Las Vegas, so you get towers and towers of buildings that they do add a good amount of variety when it comes to the layers of those buildings and what you can do. And with that DLC, you also get things that they added, like vehicle heist, where you'll be going around the map and you'll see a steering wheel all of a sudden appear on the map showing a car that you can steal and take to a chop shop of your buddy, and you'll get paid for it, and that will give you a discount that you can use to buy the vehicles in Night City, which there's like 30 of, maybe a bit more. There's also, of course, legendary vehicles that you can get, like this exact vehicle you see I'm driving now, but it's called the Mercmobile version of it, which is basically like a Batmobile type of version of this car. It's just all black, which is cool, and they have a lot of things like that. Recently in the 2.1 patch, I believe, as well, another big add-on was motorcycles. The game initially, it had, maybe 5 to 10 motorcycles, but again, one of the biggest negatives in this game as a whole was the fact that you couldn't change the colors of your vehicles. You kind of just had to accept what you got, which for some vehicles would work out perhaps, but for others, you'd see many different styles of vehicles or trims or colors that you wanted that you could never get because you could maybe have that car, To this day, there's I don't know if it's called the Cheyenne, but there's like a convertible version of it that I would love to have, and I can't believe they haven't given us a version of it. But that's like the only car I can really think of that they didn't really provide us an update with. Every other vehicle now, with these vehicles being able to be color adjusted, the added motorcycles they finally added, where it was like 4 you can buy to now you can buy like 10, plus the ones you can find randomly throughout the game. There's a monster truck hidden throughout the game. Vehicle side quest. They added vehicle combat, so now you can shoot people. I mean, vehicles in the beginning of the game it was an atrocious mess. There wasn't good traction with the tires. You couldn't pop a wheelie with a motorcycle. All that's been added to the game. I mean, just the edges have been smoothed to an incredible slickness when you look at this version of what we have now. This game is 100% worth it. I mean, I think I put over 300 hours into it, and that's not me, just finding bullshit to do or listening to like a radio station for 10 hours. That's with the fact that fucking that not only do you have so many side missions and things like that, but something that I didn't really notice that is a huge integral part of the game is the NCPD scanners, which are these things, which is what I'm going to right now. It's like a blue icon that I'm driving towards, and they're basically, they're secret little missions that they're nothing crazy, but they have a little bit of story and makes more of the game. And again, that's what makes this game so incredible. And like I said, since there's so much detail in this game and it's so packed with every inch of it having something that they try to show you. I mean, they also have the anime edge runners that builds on this world. I mean, this world is they fully invested on really creating what this world would be like if, in 50 years or so from now, if we went all in on, becoming basically cyborgs as a society. And so that the detail and the side stories and things, just add to that in an immense full way. And with that being said, they've even add stuff that aren't even side missions, that could be side missions. I mean, I found Mad Max Fury Road Easter egg, no mission attached to it, no special thing to find with it, or unlockable. Just Mad Max, little thing you found on the side of the road with conversation explaining how it basically is that. And they could have easily made it a tiny little, NCPD scanner, because fucking why not? And they didn't. I don't know why. And that's what I'm saying. There's thousands of things to find in this game, and the fact that it is 300 hours. This game is 100% worth it. If you haven't gotten the game yet, if you haven't gotten the DLC yet, if you haven't played it since it first came out, you will be greatly happy and tickled and fully happy about what we've essentially got now, because it's 100% worth it. I enjoyed this game when I first played it, but when I first played it, before the DLC, when it first came out, I'd say 500, 50 hours probably what I put into it to complete the game. I did, the main side gigs, I did the main story modes and the side missions with the, there's also like fixers, which are these people that basically, people pay to complete some type of mission, and there's, there's specific ones circled around the map, and they each have their own 10 or so missions that you have to complete. Then once you complete all 10 missions, they'll give you something special, whether it be like an iconic weapon or an iconic car or what have you. So, that's also a fun treat. And I'd say the biggest thing that really has caught me occupied in the version of this game is the iconic weapons. I love getting iconic weapons and legendary weapons, and truly, like Pokemon, catching them all. It's a damn well good treat of mine to try to get the coolest weapons. And luckily, since there is so many of these NCBD scanners, pushed around the map, it makes it easy to test them out and makes it fun to collect these things. I mean, if you look at it here, all my weapons I have are all iconic, and I'm a bit addicted to it. And iconic swords and weapons, I love going through each mission differently and just seeing how it might be if I use a throwing knife, or if I use a katana, or if I use a shovel. There's just a lot of ways to do anything. And that also goes into the builds, that make a completely different way of playing the game. There's a build like I have right now, which is strongly focused on swords, where I can deflect bullets and shoot, bullets back at people and slow down time and cut people in half and shit, because I think that's dope as fuck. But there's also something that's like super hard to resist, which is like the cyberware version of making yourself where you can control electronics, and that's a completely different play style. I mean, your whole game will be different. You're not even mixing with the fact that the three starting ways you can start the game, whether it be the nomad, the rich corpo, or the street kid, which give you a different variety. But you picking a different starting origin story mixed with deciding if you want to go hard in swords or hard in the like cyberware slots, completely different. I might play the game again if I find another 300 hours just to try it out cyberware and just see what it's like to be able to open any door I want or unlock any, and just anything impossible. This game, if you haven't played it, you should stop fucking around and you should get it. This game is 100% worth, I'd say, $40 is fair for everything, for the Phantom Liberty DLC and everything. If you get it for $40, that's a fair price. That's what you should expect to pay. Can you get it on sale? Probably. This game knows that it's worth now, so it's not typically going to be in major sale, but $30 is a likely chance. Nonetheless, you could probably get it for $30. And if you can find it below $30 in any way, shape, or form, you do it. It's that simple. If you can find it for below $30 with the DLC, I don't know what you're waiting for. So yeah, that's my final consultant guide for the Cyberpunk 2.11 update. It's 100% worth buying. It's 100% worth buying for $40 if you get the Phantom Liberty DLC with it. All other updates are free. So the Phantom Liberty, I can't even talk. The Phantom Liberty is the only thing you really have to expect differently. So if you can get both of those for $40, that's reasonable. I wouldn't be upset paying that much. If you can get it for $30, that's a deal. Phantom Liberty DLC and all, do it. Don't wait. If you can somehow find it with the Phantom Liberty DLC and it is below $30, then don't even wait. Buy the shit as fast as you can. So I hope that helps you making a decision if you haven't yet on Cyberpunk. Later, guys.